Thank you for signing up for Remote Learning Buddies. My name's Allison, and I'm a senior at Tulane, and I started this program with four other Tulane students. We started the program back in spring of 2020 at the very beginning of the pandemic in hopes of providing some relief to both students and parents in the face of COVID-19 shutdowns and the shift to remote learning. We operated through the end of the spring semester and through the summer, and we revamped the program in the fall of 2020. Currently, we're working with 120 students at 10 schools throughout the city. The ages of our students range from kindergarten to 12th grade, but the majority of our students range between 4th and 8th grade. So now that you've signed up for the program and watched this orientation, you're eligible to be matched with a student. We pair students and tutors based on subject need and tutor experience, and we aim to be mindful of tutor availability and the amount of time that students ask for. Once we match you with your student, we'll email you with the contact information to connect with your student or their parent, and we ask that you let us know as soon as you do that so that we can be sure that all of our students are accounted for. And also included in that matching email will be a link to a comprehensive resource guide that we've put together. The guide has suggestions on how to reach out to your student, some tips that we've picked up along the way, and has online learning resources on a wide range of subjects that you're welcome to use in your sessions. We've also included a pretty comprehensive cultural sensitivity and awareness guide that I'll go through a little bit later. So the goal of this program is to connect compassionate volunteer tutors with students in the New Orleans area to help them through the challenge of remote learning, alleviate some of the burden placed on parents due to school closures, and importantly, to provide students with a mentor that they can connect with. Our mission is to support the educational journey of New Orleans elementary, middle, and high school students by providing free academic and emotional support and mentorship. We advertise this program to be as adaptive to the students' technological capabilities as possible. So while most of our student tutor pairings use Zoom to connect, it's possible that students might not have access to Zoom, and that's totally fine. If you find yourself in such a situation, our team is always available to help you navigate that. I'd like to make it clear that while we as a team are not directly involved with the relationship between you and your student, we're always available to answer any questions that you might have. We want you to be comfortable asking us questions so that we can create the most seamless experience possible for both you and your students. We're also going to be holding regular office hours to provide technical help and answer any questions. Along that line, we're going to be sending out regular feedback forms to gauge the progress of the program and of your student-tutor relationships. And we encourage you to be as open and honest with us as possible so that, again, we can create the best experience possible for you. An important point is that in the majority of cases, our tutors help students with their homework, but it's up to you as a tutor and a buddy to gauge the needs of your student. So if you feel like they need a break, it's totally acceptable to play an online learning game or read them a story, and those types of resources are also available in that resource guide that we've sent out. We also encourage you to try and find mutual interest with your student to connect with them on a level beyond school so that you can gain their trust and create a lasting relationship. The students will indicate such interests when they sign up for the program, be it like football or soccer or music or cooking, but we really encourage you to invest time in finding shared interests so that you can create that special bond. And then finally, I'm going to just briefly go through some important cultural sensitivity and awareness points. We've included these points to keep in mind throughout your relationship with your student, but it's really important that I briefly go through the cultural sensitivity and awareness guide before we put our trust in you to take a mentorship role in the lives of your students. We accept you to be accepting of norms, customs, and the culture of others, and we ask that you take a moment before you start working with your student to acknowledge your own implicit biases before you begin working with your student. Sensitivity to the home culture and life experiences of the child that you're being matched with is so important to the formation of your relationship and the success of the work that you do together. It's important that you're aware of your own biases and prejudices. We all hold cultural misinformation based on our own education, history, access to information, and exposure to other types of people. And it's our job as tutors to be aware of those biases and that misinformation so that we can value diversity in our relationships. I would encourage you to read books, watch documentaries, and ask questions as they come up. Take the time to listen to your students, ask questions that might help you better understand where they're coming from. Don't make assumptions. Your students' race, ethnicity, culture, religion, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status are in no way a predeterminate of their abilities or of their perspective. Many different belief systems can exist within one culture, and it's important that we can acknowledge that. It's also important to acknowledge the stressors that COVID-19 has created specifically for low-income, marginalized individuals, marginalized students, and acknowledge that they might be facing problems or concerns that don't affect some of us. Finally, it's okay to have differences. We don't all have to believe in the same things or look the same way to have a really special and meaningful relationship. Remember that no matter what the differences are, we all share the common goal of helping students, which is why we signed up to be tutors. So be aware and be interested in learning about your student's background if the topic comes up. Thank you for watching this orientation. We are so excited to start working with you. If you have any questions, feel free to indicate those in the Google Forms, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.